Welcome back to another reading and correcting with me, Kindar, the Tiger Writes, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are where I read a chapter from one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you're interested in listening to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. And if you want to support me, that is on my Patreon. Today we are doing chapter 25 of A Series of Death. Trembor wondered where the crowd was as he parked, then wondered where the enforcers were. They should be ensuring no one got too close to or onto the scene, though if there was no crowd, they weren't needed. Their presence tended to be what drew the crowd, but they should have been sent. Anyway, he checked the information dispatch had given him. He was at the right place. He stepped out of the car and called them. Dispatch, answered a tired sounding female over after a dozen rings. Trevor could make out the din of harried conversation. They had to be loud for him to hear that. All right, Golden Mane, I'm at the scene of a body and I'm wondering where my support is. Body? She asked. Support? I'm sorry, I haven't heard anything about that. We've been swamped by the riot. A riot had caused the chaos at the precinct? Trevor had expected it to be a raid on some crime family. How bad is it? She sighed. A bunch of those anti-predation activists are on a rampage at the main office of the Revenue Bureau. We've had to pull from all precincts, and I'm not sure we're going to keep it under control. Trevor checked his pad. The financial district wasn't too far. Do you need help? I can be there in a few minutes. Running might be better. A riot would back up traffic for blocks. Can we? I have no doubt, but we can't have citizens getting involved, even someone working closely with us. I'm sorry. If it's any comfort, you'll probably have a lot of work to do once it's over. Riots always leave bodies behind. Ordell had the financial district in her territory, and maybe if she had too many, she'd ask for him for help. All right. In that case, did anyone stay behind? I should have a few enforcers to help secure the scene. I don't know. We had to pull from everywhere. I can't wait, Trevor said as the door to the house opened and an enforcer stepped out. Looks like they sent someone. He headed for the door. Oh, good, she said, letting out a breath. I don't know if I'd have been able to help you. I'll let you get back to managing the riot, Trevor said. Good luck. To you also. He put the pad away. I'm sorry, sir, the enforcer said. A young sounding, gray furred hair said, taking a step in his direction. This is a crime scene. I need you to step off the property. Registered investigator Trembor Goldenmane, he said, reaching for his wallet. Oh, of course, the hair said. Sorry, sir. Things have been hectic. I remember you now. You do? Trembor tried to remember the enforcer. He looked older than he sounded. He had trouble staying still, looking around nervously. A mix of prey weariness, Tremor expected, and being young enough, he hadn't mastered the energy prey species who used speed to survive were born with. We didn't actually meet, but I've seen you around the precinct. It's tough to miss an RI having an office there. Trevor nodded. Are you the only one here? Soft Hoof is at the back, making sure no one enters that way. Hard Chest is, he motioned around them, somewhere. She's supposed to be taking the neighbor's statement. There was an entire squad of us here, but something's going on in the financial district, and they redirected everyone but the three of us. A riot, Trember said, and the hare took a step back before he could control his reaction. Where's the body? He asked to give the hare something other than the chaos to think about. Bedroom, the officer answered, once he regained his composure. Down the hall at the end room on the left. I cleared the house. No one else is there. No one else there. No one else is there. Do you need me to go with you? Stay here. Keep anyone from entering the house. There's no telling what room will have the evidence that tells us who killed them. The hare nodded and opened the door for Trember. The house was wider than deep. On his right was the kitchen, with a small dining area next to it. Facing him was the door leading to the yard. He could see the form of the enforcer standing there through the window. On his left, the living room was large, with an expensive screen with an expensive screen on the wall, a long couch facing it, with 2 seats on each side. The furniture was massive and solidly built. It was needed to accommodate the owner. Rhinoceroses were a massive species, and the average one was also pure muscle. That this one had been able to afford the proper furniture spoke of a good productivity rating. The wall had recently had multiple picture frames on them. The discoloration showed they'd been taken down. Eh, yeah, okay. Showed where they had used to hang. The wall had recently had multiple picture frames on it. The discoloration showed where they had used to hang. A crumbled paper in a small trash can by one of the seat turned out to be a picture of a female rhinoceros. A bad breakup? He wondered, remembering the torn picture of the wolf Trembor had thrown out. The hall on the left of the living room had 3 doors, a bathroom and 2 bedrooms, the first of which had been turned into storage. There were signs of boxes. There were signs boxes had been moved about recently. Disturbed dust on the floor, more of it in the air. Someone had moved out in a hurry, and the house's owner hadn't bothered tidying the room back. The other room had a large bed, also solidly built, a dresser, an attached shower, and shelves along the wall with books on them. Adventure by the titles. Legs poked out from the other side of the bed. His body. Death was a broken neck. The head was twisted all the way around. How the killer had managed that, Tremper had no idea. Rhinoceroses were tough and strong. He looked around for signs of a fight and found a recent scratch on the floor where furniture had been moved, shoved out of the way, then moved back in place. This would indicate the killer had tried covering their track, which spoke of them staying calm after the kill. Calm enough to put everything back in place, make the bed, but not pay the tax. He messaged Jaxka with the address and species. The frog would need a larger and sturdier gurney for this body. The reply came within an hour ETA. With an ETA of an hour. The reply came with an ETA of an hour, which gave Trembor ample time to process the rhinoceros. He put gloves on, then searched the body. A scent check told them it was only a couple of hours old. He found the wallet, but the male's ID wasn't in it. That was unusual, especially since he was dressed in work pants, a shirt, and heavy boots, which meant he'd been heading out. A search on the address would give him the name if he didn't locate it. He frowned. He didn't like that the ID wasn't there, but he couldn't figure out why. He stood, intending to look into the drawer. Maybe the male had a different wallet for it. He knew a few enforcers who did that, not wanting to lose their ID if someone picked the pockets. A creaking by the door made him look over his shoulder. The hare was entering the room. Why had he left the door unguarded? You need to go back to... The hare rushed at Trember, and the lion stepped away from the body to preserve its integrity. As fast as Trember knew hares to be, this one was faster. Fists coming at him, almost too fast for him to dodge. Closed hands meant he wasn't looking to kill him, he thought, then remembered the rhinoceros had no claw marks on him. No, there was no way this hare was the killer. He stepped back and kicked out, his foot catching the hare by the shoulder, but instead of sending him flying, the hare caught it and forced Trember to anchor both or fall too. He wrenched the foot out of the grip before the fist landed on his ankle and stepped back again. The dresser pressed against his back. The prey was used to fighting larger. This prey was used to fighting larger and stronger predators. Trevor stepped aside, looking to gain room to kick out again, but this time the hare stayed close, only allowing him to use short and quick jab with his foot that lacked strength. Cursing, Trevor found himself with his back against the bookcase, fully on the defensive. He blocked and waited for his opening. For the first time in recent weeks, he was happy to remember Marlot and their training together. It will force him to adapt to different fighting styles. As the hare wound back, Trembor struck first, hand also closed. He didn't connect properly, only staggering the hare instead of throwing him back. But before Trembor could take advantage of even that little space, the hare grabbed his arm and twisted, forcing Trembor down to his knee and biting back a scream of pain. The hare stepped around him, moving Trembor's arm with him, and twisted harder when the lion tried to get a leg under him. He felt breath against his ears and thought he might get some explanation of what was going on, but the hare stepped back. Before Trembor could ask his question, pain exploded at the back of his head. He fought against the darkness that followed, but another explosion of pain brought him down. He saw the floor approach, but the darkness enveloped him before he hit it. And this concludes chapter 25 of A Series of Death. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter is going to be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read this book as well as the others in the series, they are available at all major e-retailers. If you're looking for a different way to support me, that is on my Patreon. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. The links are in the notes, and with that, I shall wish you a good day.